Hey guys, it is Coaster College with the top 10 rides at Six Flags Great Adventure. I know it's been a long time since I first uploaded my last video, uh, and I haven't had the time to do it, but now that I'm here, I'm gonna actually try this time, because I know I was a little bit quiet in my last one, but now I can actually be louder. Number 10 is the Dark Knight Coaster, located at the movie part of the park, right next to Batman the Ride. The height of 45 feet. Most of these rides that are going to be in this list don't have like G's. Like some of them, like they won't have their like how many G's they pull off in the like. It wasn't shown, so I couldn't have known. I gave it a 7 on smoothness because I mean it's a wild mouse, so it's not going to be too smooth. The manufacturer is Mack Rides, and they're not like known for making any like spectacular rides or anything like that. But there's nothing really special about it. It's just a dark ride. And this is the same for number 9. Number 9 is Skull Mountain. Only reason that I gave it higher, it's not, the height is different. The speed is 33 miles an hour, which is 3 miles an hour faster. That is a 10 on smoothness because the manufacturer is Intamin. Usually Intamins are known for making pretty decently smooth rides. It is an indoor ride, and there is no inversions, but it just pull off 2.3 Gs. Number 8 is the Joker. It's the brand new ride. I think it was either 2016 or 2015. It's 120 feet, but no one really cares about the height because you're going mostly the same speed the whole entire time. Because there's 6 inversions, but if you were counting counted it as like a normal ride with like a normal seat, like a lap bar or like an over the head shoulder restraint, it would only have 2 inversions. But since it's a 40 free spin coaster, made by SNS World Ride, it has 6 inversions because you have the 2 on ride and the 4 on the top because you spin in your seat while you are going through the ride. Next is Green Lantern, the stand-up coaster. It's a height of 154 feet with a speed of 63 miles an hour. I gave it a 9 on smoothness, and people say this like stand-up coasters are really bad. Depends which one you go on. I rate this in the number 2 stand-up coaster in the world, right after Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I gave it a 9 on smoothness because I mean it's still a stand-up coaster. I wouldn't be able to give Riddler's Revenge a 10. I would have to probably give all stand-up coasters a 9 unless it's really like Apocalypse or something and it only deserves like a 4 or a 5. Again, this one didn't show its G's, but it has 5 inversions. It's just your average B&M, but it's a really good stand-up ride. Number 6 is probably, I think it's actually the world's most, cloned ride. It's Batman the Ride at mostly, I think it's like 7 different parks. It has 5 inversions, 4 Gs, that's pretty good. Smoothness, I gave it an 8, it's not the smoothest ride, but it's really smooth for a cloned ride. Same B&M. Height 100 feet, nothing really great about it, but I still think it could be. It's one of the most cloned, but then again, it's one of the best cloned. Number 5 is Superman Ultimate Flight. This is located right next to Green Lantern in the boardwalk section of the park. It is a flying coaster, 106 feet, so it's just a little bit taller than Batman the Ride by about 1 foot, and it's faster by about 1 miles per hour. I give it a 9 on smoothness. This was a really smooth ride. Again, it didn't show the G's, but it had 2 inversions. But like on this ride, you feel like you're inverted like most of the time because of how the seats are. Again, it's another B&M. It's a flying coaster, but I think these next 4 are gonna really cause some controversy because these are really weird how I set them up. A lot of people say that this is probably going to be the most wrong thing ever. But number 4 is El Toro. Most people say El Toro is like the best wooden roller coaster and like one of them because now that you have Lightning Rod and El Run. But people say that this like deserves to be like number 1 in like all of Six Flags. Well, I'd rather go on Twisted Colossus. The height is 181 feet. The speed is 70 miles an hour, which is really good, but this is the one thing. The smoothest, I only gave it a 7. Most people say this is like one of the smoothest wooden roller coasters ever. and it uses 4.4 Gs, 0 inversions, and it's made by Intamin. The only thing special about it is a wooden ride. I feel like the ride, it's a really good ride, but I don't think it deserves as much, like, what's the word I'm looking for? As much attention as most other rides at this park, because this park, everyone's like, oh, best ride at the park, no doubt about it. And then, like, they're like, this is like the smoothest ride ever. I don't think it's that smooth. I only gave it a 7, which is the least smoothest ride in the park, I think. I have 2 other rides that deserve like a 4 that are at the very end. Not like as the countdown, but I gave some like honorable mentions. But number 3 is Kingda, the world's tallest roller coaster, second fastest, with a height of 456 feet, 128 miles per hour, and I didn't realize that I put down a 5 because that means this is the most shaky. It's made by Intamin again, and it's the only thing good about it is the crazy launch on it. I only gave it its 5 Gs, which is probably one of the most I've ever been on. The smoothest is only a 5 because that launch can get a little bit shaky, and sometimes you feel a little like rattle when you get to the top of the second hill, which is kind of funny because that second hill is taller than most hills on like in the park. Number 2 was Nitro, 230 feet up, with a speed of 80 miles an hour. I give this a 10 on smoothness. This is like one of my favorite rides that I've ever been on. Right after this next one, it hits 4.3 Gs, has 0 inversions, and the manufacturer is B&M. And one thing that's really good about it is that has an amazing helix at the very end. Well, not the very end, but like halfway through the ride. Number 1 is I think most of you already know what it is, but like most people say that this is like maybe their 6th or 7th. I really enjoyed this ride. It's Bizzaro. Bizzaro is the winner at this one because I think it goes 132 feet, 61 miles an hour, smoothest of a 9. It only hits 4 Gs, but it has 7 inversions. It's made by B&M, and it has one of the best theming rides at the park, in like a Six Flags park, just because of the effects. Like through the ride, you're like going through a battle, and there's like fire, and there's some like steam and stuff. This was like a really good ride. I don't know. Most people say this is like their 6th or 7th. The B&M floorless. So people are like, oh, it's just a B&M floorless, and I'm like, I'm a huge fan of B&M floorlesses, hypercoasters, and all that. I like less about the inversions. I know it has 7, but I like a good ride. Like, I don't know. Nitro could easily replace Bizzaro, and Bizzaro could easily replace Nitro, because I like airtime, and I like good solid inversions. Like, this ride has amazing inversions. It has, let's see, it probably has a vertical loop, cobra roll, and some other like maybe like a corkscrew here and there. It was an amazing ride. Here are some of the rides that didn't make this list. There's only 2 of them really. One of them really doesn't count as a ride. It's El Diablo and Runaway Mine Train. There's nothing really good about them. El Diablo is just inversions and inversions, but it's not even a ride because there's technically no track. It's like a lift cable just going back and forth, like a lift cable just moving. And I don't think it's that great of a ride. I rode both of these, and none of them were that good. I mean, Runaway Mine Train was like, it's more of a scenic ride for like young, like if you're going with your like maybe like, say you're like 30 and you're going with your like 8-year-old, like your 6-year-old or something. Maybe they'll take this ride like and be like, this is my favorite ride ever. Thanks for bringing me on it. And then like once they get older, they'll be like, oh, I can't believe I used to like this ride. Yeah, it's not the greatest ride, but I kind of still enjoy it. I saw someone lost a hat on it, but I grabbed it right before they lost it. That's kind of a weird experience that I had on this ride. But this ride, I would say that if it was top 12, it would be Runaway Mine Train at 11 and then El Diablo at 12. Just because I think El Diablo, it's a smooth ride. Has inversions, but I don't think it's like that good of a ride. It has no airtime. It just has hang time. But then Runaway Mine Train, on the other hand, you have the kind of a helix kind of thing, and then it's kind of a left turn, helix, it's over. And then that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this top 10 rides at King's Dominion. Great adventure, and subscribe and leave a like if you liked the video. I'll see you guys in a future video.